All right, people, this your boy, man, Mike. Just want to get my thoughts of the hire of Dirk Cutter. Now, I know a lot of you guys have already paid close attention to my thoughts on the Dirk Cutter hire. Initially, I was not in favor of it. I thought it was rushed. I thought it was one of those things where Dan Quinn just, he really didn't think it through. And through further through further investigation and further, research and whatnot, I came to the conclusion that this is probably one of the most underrated hires in the off season. All right. When you look at Dan Quinn, you look at the guys that he brought in, Dirk Cutter, Mike Mularkey, the changes that he's had, that he's made, getting rid of Steve Sarkisian, who we all thought wasn't, he didn't have enough experience. We questioned his play calling, and we thought initially, a lot of us thought that it was a rush hire. I mean, losing Kyle Shanahan to a head coaching job in San Francisco after he led the offense to one of the best scoring offenses of all time. Thought it was a rush to get, just to get a offensive coordinator. And, we all can come to the conclusion that Dirk Cutter is absolutely one of the better play callers in the league right now. And, I'm going to say this, man. I'm going to say this, and a lot of people can say,
support Wrestle Talk. Give us a subscribe. Wrestle Talk.
all right, sorry about that, but just a little bit of technical difficulties. But as far as what I was saying, man, let me get back to what I was saying. A lot of people thought that the hire Mike Mularkey, Dirk Cutter was one of these hires that wasn't really thought through. And the more that I took my time after being initially angry, upset, thought this was one of those rush to judgment hires. And the more that I sit back and I analyze this hire, I came up to three things, three keys that I think, a lot of us have to pay close attention to. And the first one has to do with Dan Quinn. We all know that the defense wasn't what we thought it would be. These guys had a ton of injuries. Had Ricardo Allen, Keanu Neal, Deion Jones. These guys were out for a significant time. The front four, these guys gave up a ton of rushing yards this year. Didn't play up to our standards and Dan Quinn's standard. And this hire of Dirk Cutter, Mike Mularkey, he gives him the ability to just focus on the defensive side of the ball. So when you look at it, I think this is an excellent hire in its entirety, not solely just on one coach, but this is in its entirety. You look at it, man, this gives Dan Quinn sole focus on the defense to build his defense, whether it's through the draft and in free agency. He can just focus on Tack McKinley, Vic Beasley, Grady Jarrett, and all these guys on the defensive side of the ball, put them in the right position to succeed. All right, we need a championship defense. If we want to win a championship, it has to go through the defensive side of the ball. We already know what Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, what they're capable of on the offensive side of the ball. But if we want to win the championship, it has to go through the defense first. And the second one came to the conclusion is that experience on the offensive side of the ball was extremely lacking. All right, nothing against Steve Sarkisian. Thought he did an okay job for a guy that didn't have a ton of experience in the NFL. Caller did not. He was put in a position where it was, it just wasn't well. It wasn't thought through. All right, it wasn't. Dan Quinn, Thomas Dimitroff, in my opinion, failed Steve Sarkisian. They didn't surround him with veteran offensive coaches, that have been through it. So I feel like they definitely failed Steve Sarkisian. I'm not going to put all the blame on this guy because I still feel that he, at some point in time in his career, maybe, no, he's just better suited for the college game. But the NFL game, he just doesn't have a ton of experience. And when you look at the Falcons hire, you have two coaches, all right? Mike Mularkey, he's an offensive coordinator, all right? He has a long history of being a terrific running game coordinator for the Atlanta Falcons. He has more of a power running style. You have Dirk Cutter, who is one of the better offensive coordinators as far as the passing game is concerned. He is aggressive. We saw what Tampa did. These guys put up tremendous numbers. They're one of the better passing attacks in the NFL, and Dirk Cutter is definitely aggressive in the passing game. So when you combine this with Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, and, with this offense, three experienced offensive coordinators, Greg Knapp, all right, in its entirety, this is an excellent hire, all right? In its entirety, this is an excellent hire. You have Dirk Cutter, Mike Mularkey, and Greg Knapp. All three of those guys were offensive coordinators. So instead of having, one offensive coordinator, who is as brilliant as a Gary Kubiak is, the Falcons have access of three offensive coordinators. And they can employ three styles into this offense. Dirk Cutter is more of attacking style of offensive coordinator. As far as the passing game is concerned, Mike Mularkey, he's one of those offensive coordinators that like to get physical, using the passing game, using the play action game, the power running game, and Dirk Cutter. But Greg Knapp is one. He uses a lot of West Coast offense. He's a Gary Kubiak disciple and whatnot, so he knows the West Coast offense. When you combine it all together, this Falcons have a number of guys offensively where they can put their brain together and come up with an excellent game plan. So, third one for me, man, it's just, I think I've already went over it, but I want to add a little bit more to it, and that's Dirk Cutter and his passing attack. When you have guys like Calvin Ridley, Austin Hooper, I really believe that this guy's a sleeper at tight end, and that's Eric Saubert. When you combine those guys with a Dirk Cutter passing attack, all right, he can definitely design plays where he can attack a defense and we can get big plays. This is what the Atlanta Falcons offense and what Dan Quinn has preached this entire time he has been with the Atlanta Falcons, all right? It's attacking. It's attacking down the field, making big plays, and getting these guys big plays, man. All right. So this is what Dan Quinn is had in mind. And the more that I think about it, man, the more that I think about this is just a excellent hire, man. I know a lot of people may not agree with it right now, but its entirety, the Falcons have three offensive coordinators on the offensive side of the ball. And that way, Dan Quinn can just solely focus on defense. All right? This is his specialty. It's defense. And he can just focus on putting these guys using, whether Vic Beasley is back or not, he can use this guy, put him in the right position where he can succeed. Grady Jarrett, Tack McKinley, Deion Jones, Keanu Neal, DeMonte KZ, okay? Crazy KZ, who I thought should be a Pro Bowler. But it is what it is. Atlanta Falcons not going to get any respect, man. It is what it is, man. We got to win a Super Bowl for us to even get any type of respect, all right? But it is what it is, man. But when you look at offense in its entirety, it really is a damn good hire. All right, the Falcons quietly made one of the best offensive hires as far as the coaching staff is concerned, and one of those, like I said before, one of the major uh, problems with the Atlanta Falcons offense last year that these guys didn't have a ton of experience on the coaching staff. Um, I guess I'll go into the comment section and see what you guys think about it, about these things that I just discussed. If you guys haven't already, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, man. Come on, man. Let me get at least, it's 17 people, 18 people in here. Let me get you guys to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button, man. But all right, let's go to the comment section and see what you guys have to say, man. Rise up, Dedrick Martin. Quinn hired the two right people. I believe in Quinn. We'll have our defense ready to go next year. Yeah, man, I really believe in this defense. I believe in Dan Quinn's his philosophy, attacking, having guys that have toughness. They're fast on both sides of the ball. He wants speed, and more speed. But as we saw, if you don't have the toughness part of football, it doesn't matter how fast you are, how athletic you are. You have to have, you have to be fundamentally sound. And it's something that on the defensive side of the ball that Marquand Manuel lacked. All right. And with Dan Quinn as the defensive coordinator for the Falcons will be back, all right, to the top 10. I'm not ready to say these guys will be top 5, but I think most definitely with Dan Quinn leading the defense now, he's the play caller. Everything on the defensive side of the ball will go through him. So I fully expect the Falcons defense to be at top 10. DJ Martin, what about time management? This is one of the things that I thought about. When you have, essentially, the Falcons you have Dan Quinn, who's a head coach, have Morris, who was a head coach, and you have Dirk Cutter and Mike Mularkey, who were all head coaches. All right, time management should not be a problem now with the Atlanta Falcons. They have 4 head coaches on their staff right now. Okay, 4 NFL head coaches right now, and you put their mind together. I don't really think that time management will be a problem. So I expect Dan Quinn to give, as far as time management on the offensive side of the ball. On the offensive side of the ball, to give most of the power to Dirk Cutter. Is pretty good at decision making, but I don't think he'll be the sole. I don't think he'd be the main voice on the offensive side of the ball. I think he'd be a more collaborative effort on the offensive side of the ball as far as time management is concerned. And Dan Quinn stated that, yes, he will have guys that is designated to make those decisions, but ultimately everything will still go through Dan Quinn. Rajon Thomas, what does it mean for the run game? The run game absolutely will not change. You still have concepts of inside, outside zone, but when you have Mike Mularkey, who is more of a power running type, a power running offensive coordinator, a power running coach, and you have Dirk Cutter, who is has the passing attack. You combine that with Ito Smith and Devontae Freeman. These guys are more so of inside running game. So I really think the Falcons have a well-rounded and will have a well-rounded offensive running attack. I really believe that this offense will have a multitude of styles of offense, especially specifically for the running game. If our defense plays to elite level, we'll be okay. Absolutely, man. Like I said before, Dan Quinn being the defensive coordinator now, the play caller. He's the head coach and defensive coordinator for the Falcons. No, they will not have a defensive coordinator. Dan Quinn is that. He's taking over that role. So defensively, I'm not concerned about what will happen. I think the Falcons will have a top 10 with Dan Quinn running that side of the ball. So when you look at the secondary, we already have DeMonte Casey. I think he's going to be a star. I expect him and Rico Allen to kind of split time from cornerback, that third cornerback, the slot cornerback, and the free safety. You will see packages where you have both of those guys, for the most part, playing free safety, alternating from free safety and cornerback. Casey is one of those guys in college. He played both sides of the ball. I mean, not both sides of the ball, but he played both safety and corner, so he has that ability. Ricardo Allen, he came in the league as a corner, was converted to a safety. Dan Quinn felt that he was the perfect guy for his defense, and he has not failed us. So those guys, they're excellent, man. In the secondary, you have Desmond Trufant, and you can already scratch Robert Alford as he'll be gone for the in the Atlanta Falcons. But man, defensively, I think they'll be pretty damn good. The defensive line is where most of the question marks are. I don't know if Vic Beasley will be back. I will say this about it. Dan Quinn and Thomas Dimitroff said they haven't lost any confidence in Vic Beasley. For the most part, it's all about consistency. Consistency and paycheck. If Vic Beasley is worth $12 to $15 million a year, especially with his lack of consistency, so that's something to worry about, to think about. 20, yeah, like I said before, they have a lot of guys that they need to play. They pay on this off defensive side of the ball. Grady Jarrett, Deion Jones, Keanu Neal. They exercised the 5th-year option on him, so these guys will be up to be paid real soon in the next 2 years or so. I expect Grady Jarrett to be franchised. So defensively, these guys will be okay. I don't know if they'll be elite level, but these guys will be there. I'm not worried about the defensive side of the ball. Rose Stackson, what's good, man? Marquise Brown. I love the fact that now Dan Quinn can just focus on the defensive side. And I definitely agree with you there, man. 3 offensive coordinators on the one side of the ball. That's pretty damn good. So that's 3 heads. Those guys and put a good game plan together and learn how to attack the defense. And yeah, this is, like I said, I think this is one of the most underrated. Coaching hires in the NFL right now. Rose Stacks, and all we need is a special teams coach. Absolutely, because I'm tired of seeing Fair Catch Hardy doing absolutely nothing. I don't think we got anything from special teams, the returning game aspect. As far as the kicking game is concerned, I don't think I know that that Matt Bryant will be back. I don't think he'll retire this year. Giorgio Tavecchio, if for some reason Matt Bryant decides he wants to retire, you could possibly bring him back. But for the most part, man, special team coach, if they're going to bring in a guy, it has to be a guy that understands the importance of a return game. Keith Armstrong, since Devin Hester has retired, the return game for the Falcons has been absolutely awful. That's one of the reasons why he was fired. And like I said before, it doesn't matter how good you are on defense and on on offense side of the ball. We all know that. I know a lot of Chicago Bears fans are thinking that right now. It doesn't matter how good you are on the offense and defensive side of the ball. If you don't have kickers, if you don't have a decent return game, man, that's back to haunt you forever. All right, this guy's getting death threats because he missed kicks. Okay, all right. So special teams is a vital part of football, man. Most underrated aspect of the game. All right. Matt Ryan will be able to run no huddle with Dirk Cutter. And that's Dougie Fresh, man. That's absolutely that's one thing that I absolutely love. That's one thing with Dirk Cutter, with Matt Ryan when he was with Dirk Cutter and those guys together with 2012. He had a decent run with the passing attack, and Matt Ryan was absolutely coming into his own. He allowed Matt Ryan to be himself, and that's run no huddle. Give him freedom to run the no huddle. All right. This is one aspect the last couple of years that Matt Ryan has not had a lot of freedom to run. Maybe that has to do with Dan Quinn and his style of play that he wants to. Dan Quinn with Dirk Cutter and Matt Ryan, I expect to see a lot of no huddle, a lot of screens, and that's something this year that the Falcons definitely struggle with, and that's screens. All right, so I expect Dirk Cutter to add that aspect, those big time, those aspects to the game, to the offensive playbook. Ian Miles, what's good, Pippin? The Falcons need to win at least 2 or 3 wins before the rings before Jones retire. Man, I'm not gonna put any expectations on winning the Super Bowl. Man, like I said before, we can't really just say that they need to do this, need to do that. I'm one of those people that thinks it doesn't matter how many damn rings that the Falcons win. Somebody's gonna always have a problem with it. The media just loves to hate on the Atlanta Falcons. It doesn't matter how good we are, how consistent we are, how many players we have. Julio Jones, I mean, we've seen what they did to Julio Jones this year. All right, this guy led the league in yards yet again, 1,600 yards, the best receiver in the game, and he's a second team All Pro. Like, who the hell does that? All right, so when you look at it, man, I'm not gonna put a must win, 2 or 3 rings before Julio Jones and Matt Ryan retires. I mean, that'll be lovely to see, but we really need the defensive side of the ball to step up big time if we want to get those guys one ring. Your list, 2 or 3 wings. Rose Stacks, and why is everybody upset about offensive line change schemes? Rose, this is something that I've stated before, but the running game and the offensive line running scheme and the running zone scheme will not change whatsoever. That will not change, okay? The zone scheme will not change, all right? Let me repeat this. The zone scheme will not change. The Falcons are not changing schemes. That's why you have 3 offensive coordinators to help Dirk Cutter learn the West Coast offense, how we do things, okay? The playbook with the Atlanta Falcons will not change. Dirk Cutter will primarily be the offensive coordinator, all right? He will be that. So when you look at it, the offensive line, the running scheme, the pass schemes and whatnot, those concepts will not change. And this was something that Dan Quinn had to be kind of careful with, especially with the coaching hires. That can this guy come in and pick off where Kyle Shanahan left as far as the scheme is concerned. The schemes will not change whatsoever offensively. But yeah, the only 2 offensive linemen that he is comfortable with is Matthews and Mack. As far as Ryan Schrader is concerned, I don't think you can get rid of him. I think when you think about it, you give him one more chance to prove himself. That is not one of those years that it was just a fluke, all right? Maybe this year was just a fluke for Ron Schrader. All right, he was god awful, couldn't pass protect, but maybe that had to do a lot with play calling, man. Maybe that had to do with the concepts and Steve Sarkisian not knowing how to put players in the right position where they can succeed. And one aspect of the game that is underrated is learning how to use your offensive lineman. All right, we all know Ron Schrader is not as good in play in pass blocking. So what we can do more of to help to protect Ron Schrader is use more of the running game and more of play action. Do not leave him on the island where Matt Ryan has to step back, 40, 50 times a game and leave Ron Schrader, back, in pass protection for majority of the game. So a lot of this has to do with play calling, and I think Dirk Cutter, Mike Malarkey, and those guys will put together a game plan to help protect the offensive lineman. And like I said before, this is one of the aspects of the game that is underrated. You have to learn how to use your offensive linemen to the best of their ability. We talk about using Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, Austin Hooper, the running backs, using them to their strengths, but you also have to take into account the offensive linemen. When you have to step back and put these guys back in pass protection 40, 50 times a game, there's more times than not that these guys will not succeed. They're going to give up a ton of sacks. But yeah, man, I think we need Claiborne back. The Falcons need depth. I'm not sure they need Adrian Claiborne. If the Patriots decide they want to release Adrian Claiborne, I think that's probably something that the Falcons could explore again. They don't need him. In my opinion, I think these guys need more a younger, more athletic, physical defensive tackle in the middle who was excellent compliment to Grady Jarrett. And I think Christian Wilkins is one of those guys. Don't think Jeffrey Simmons have any place here in Atlanta due to the domestic violence issue. Defensive tackle, it's a number of guys, man. That can fit well with the Atlanta Falcons. Rashawn Gary is another guy. Ed Oliver. Like I said, it's a ton of guys on the defensive tackle position. Even the guy in Jacksonville that will most likely be released, and that's Malik Jackson. He played in the 4-3 under scheme that Dan Quinn teaches. Maybe that's a guy that you can potentially bring in. But like I said, man, the Falcons need a defensive tackle. They need a defensive end like an Adrian Claiborne who can come in, get you sacks here and there, and expel Vic Beasley and Pat McKinnon. These guys don't need to have these big, huge snap counts. Put these guys in position where they can be fresh and get after the quarterback, man. The guys are already undersized, so the more snaps they have, as far as, the more snaps that they have, in my opinion, the less success, the more tired and wore down that these guys are going to be, man. So I would not be totally against bringing the Adrian Claiborne back. In Miles, I think Desmond Trufant needs to go. Well, let me say this about Trufant. I think I've stated this more than I pretty much talked about Robert Alford. Get ready to see Desmond Trufant for a long time, at least 2 more years. The way his contract is constructed, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. All right, that's one. 2 is Desmond Trufant has been a victim of this scheme. All right, why do I say this? It's because when you look at Desmond Trufant, his strength, this guy's technique is impeccable. He's one of these guys who's never out of position. All right, he gives up a lot of underneath things, and that a lot of it is due to the Falcons play a lot of zone. All right, Desmond Trufant is one of those corners who's better in man. All right, he's better in man. So when you have a guy that is, better in man, and he's playing a ton of zone, Desmond Trufant is asked to do one thing: don't give up big plays. All right, and if he can get the interceptions that he hasn't had, a ton of success, he can get the interception. But for the most part, Desmond Trufant is asked to not give up big plays. All right, the complete opposite of the complete opposite of Robert Alford. Desmond Trufant may give up a ton of 5-10 yards here and there, but you will not. Very seldom you will see Desmond Trufant give up multiple big plays. All right. So Robert Trufant is definitely here to stay for at least 2 years. The contract will not allow the Falcons to just get rid of Desmond Trufant. He is damn sure better than Robert Alford, Rajon Thomas. That's an absolute fact. Rise up. Where do you think we should go in the first round pick? Like I said before, I think when I was looking at the Alabama-Clemson game, one person that stood out to me, and he fits perfectly, after watching him yet again, I have to say Christian Wilkins. That guy's a damn animal, all right? If you put him alongside Grady Jarrett, Grady Jarrett, you have Dedenson Knight, Grady Jarrett, Christian Wilkins, and you resign a guy like Jack Crawford. That's a pretty good defensive tackle rotation. So, Christian Wilkins will be a guy that I would go after. I think he fits perfectly what Dan Quinn wants. Well, and he does exactly what Dan Quinn wants from his defensive tackles, and that is to wreak havoc in the backfield. Penetration. That's what he's about. Getting and disrupting the play, whether it's in the running game or in the passing game. Christian Wilkins can disrupt the pass. We saw that against Alabama. This guy on the goal line, that guy was a damn animal. Also, you combine Grady Jarrett with Christian Wilkins, man, that is absolutely scary. All right, that right there is an absolute nightmare. Dedrick Martin, I think we should draft a cornerback to replace Poole and Alford. Well, I don't expect Brian Poole. If Brian Poole comes back, I don't think a big deal. I think he's one of those players that you can't depend on him to be, that third corner. I just don't think he's suited for that role. I think if you bring Brian Poole back, he would be a safety. I think he could be a backup safety. But for the most part, man, Robert Alford will most likely be gone. There's no reason to keep him back. His play, his money, all state to me and a lot of people that he has to go, and that's ASAP. All right, Robert Alford has to go right now. No doubt about it. Ian Miles, I feel like Desmond Trufant fell off a little bit. Desmond Trufant, let me say this about cornerbacks in the league. Cornerbacks in the league, man, you're not going to see a ton of guys. You're not going to see a lot of shutdown corners. The time of shutdown corners in this NFL, the way the rules are constructed, are dead and gone. You will never see another shutdown corner in this NFL. All right? Do you hear me, guys? You will never see a shutdown corner in today's NFL. The way the rules are constructed, these guys cannot put a hand on an offensive receiver whatsoever. You can barely tackle these guys. And for guys in the secondary, they're playing scared. And like I said before, again, man, when you have cornerbacks who can't bump receivers, especially guys like Julio Jones, Mike Evans, these guys like DeAndre Hopkins, these guys are big, physical, and they can run. So a guy like Desmond Trufant, who's like 6'1", 6 feet 6'1", these guys are not very big. All right, they're not very big, and you can't touch these guys. They're not as fast as these guys. These are supreme athletes at wide receiver. Okay, and if you can't touch a wide receiver at defensive back, you're already behind the 8 ball. It's like playing basketball with LeBron James. This guy is 260 damn pounds, and you can't touch him at the 3-point line. Guess who's going to win every single time? It ain't going to be the defender, okay? That's what is wrong with the NFL. That is what's wrong with guys like Jalen Ramsey, who's up and down every year. Has a good year, he has a bad year. This is the way the NFL is constructed. So when you look at Desmond Trufant and a lot of cornerbacks in the NFL right now, there's a lot of inconsistency. Why? Because of the rules. If the NFL can go back, let these guys be physical, let these guys bump them, then you will see guys like Desmond Trufant. All right, you will see Desmond Trufant come back into his zone. DeAndre Baker from Georgia. I would like to see him. I think he fits what they like to do. But the only way the Falcons would draft a corner if they take care of business in free agency. They would have to get at least 2 free agents, guys like Malik Jackson, Dante Fowler Jr. They would definitely have to get. Guys in free agency if they want to draft. If they would have to get if they want to get a guy. If they want to get guys in a DeAndre Baker in free agency. So when you look at it, man, these guys are not. DeAndre Baker is not a guy that you want. The Falcons. I expect to have the Falcons to draft with that number 14 pick. We can run 3 different offenses. Roast action, yeah, like I said, man, the Falcons, Dan Quinn low-key made 3 good hires. Those are 3 styles of offense on one team. All right? Do you hear me what I'm saying? Those are 3 styles of offense that you have. Mike Mularkey, a guy that has a power running game. You have Dirk Cutter, who is more of a attacking down the field, passing type of offensive coordinator, and you have Greg Knapp, who is more of a West Coast quick passing game. So that's 3 offenses, 3 phases of the offense that the Falcons can definitely use. I don't think the Falcons need. I really believe in Isaiah Oliver. All right, this guy is absolutely. When you look at athletically, man, this guy's gifted. He's physical. He's big. He's long. He's fast. He can play in the slot. This guy's so big and so fast and quick. He can play in the slot. All right, it's so many things that you can do with a guy like Isaiah Oliver, and you combine him with the technique of Desmond Trufant, the intelligence of a Desmond Trufant. I think that's an excellent. Those 2 guys complement each other well. So when you have Robert Alford, who will most likely be gone, man, you combine him with you combine Isaiah Oliver with Trufant, and somehow and somewhere in the draft, maybe the 4th or 5th round, you can draft a guy. You can draft a corner at some point in time, but it all comes down to how they attack free agency. R.I.P. to Cody Parkey. Yeah, man, that's bad, man. That's bad. That's absolutely terrible. Okay, that's absolutely terrible, dog. Do you think ex Similicri? I don't know how the hell you say that. Ex Similicri? Whatever, goddamn. All right. Do you think Freeman would be good under Cutter? Dirk Cutter typically is not a very good offensive running game play caller. I think the offense, as far as the running game is concerned, Dirk Cutter will call the plays, but Mike Mularkey, Chris Morgan, those guys will pretty much design the running game for the Falcons. So I don't expect Dirk Cutter to be, I think he's gonna call the plays, but you have two guys in Chris Morgan who know the inside outside zone running scheme. These guys would most definitely, help Dirk Cutter and Devontae Freeman. As long as he's healthy, we all know what he can do. All right, this guy is an absolute beast when he's healthy. He just has to be healthy. But I think Devontae Freeman will be all right. But it all comes down to if he's healthy, man. The lack of depth at every position. Lionel Medina. I think offensively is good. When you look at the skill position, you look at the defensive line. The Falcons need some, a pass rusher here and there to go with Vic Beasley, Tack McKinley, and Jack Crawford. You add a couple of guys here and there. You bring back Stephen Means, Brooks. Brooks Reed will most likely be gone, but he can always come back to add depth. I'm not totally against bringing back Brooks Reed for depth purposes. Linebacker, these guys, Deion Jones, Campbell, Foye Oluokun, and Duke Riley. I think those are pretty good linebackers. I think you draft or go in free agency and bring in a veteran linebacker, come in, maybe play special teams, or perhaps bring back a Kamal Ishmael and add depth. Secondary, what can I say about the secondary? Secondary is deep, man. All you have to worry about is Keanu Neal, Ricardo Allen, those guys coming back coming back from their injuries. Can they come back well? But the offensive side of the ball, I think these guys are deep. You have Ito Smith, Devontae Freeman still out. It's still out. The jury is still out whether or not they will bring back Tevin Coleman. I think Tevin Coleman will be interesting. I think it really depends on the market. I don't think the Falcons will go out immediately and sign a guy, sign Tevin Coleman. I think they'll wait a little bit to see if he will be back, to see what the market is for Tevin Coleman. I don't think they're in any rush to sign a guy, to sign Tevin Coleman. Like I said before, the Falcons have a lot of guys that they need to take care of. And Tevin Coleman, for me, he did not prove himself to be a lead back. So that's kind of his fault, man. You had your chance to be the guy, and you played all right. But we needed Tevin Coleman to show his ass, okay? We already know that Devontae Freeman has shown multiple times that he is a capable back. He's rushed for 1,000 yards before. He's an all-pro. But Tevin Coleman has not done that. So, can we do that? Can we get rid of a guy? Can we get rid of Tevin Coleman? Can we let Tevin Coleman walk? I think so. You have Devontae Freeman and Ito Smith. Ito Smith is a back that I think will play a significant role in the offense. I really like what I saw him. He reminds me of a lot of Devontae Freeman. All right, so you go in the draft, free agency, bring in a veteran running back, or you go in the draft and get a young power back. I think the Falcons are doing quite well, man. I think they're doing good, man. John Trammell, all right, Trammell. We need a defensive line. The Falcons. 3 guys on the defensive side of the ball that have talent. I think, like I said before, it's all about the depth, man. The depth. These guys, I like Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett is without a doubt one of the best defensive tackles in the league. Tack McKinley is an up-and-coming defensive end. I think he's going to have a big year next year. He finally understands what the NFL and how the offensive linemen will attack him. He kind of got in a spurt where he was just, he was in a little small slump, but he didn't. He still played well. So I expect big things from Grady Jarrett, Takk McKinley. Vic Beasley is where the question mark is for me. He has tremendous ability, talent. You can't just you can't duplicate that first step for Vic Beasley. That guy's first step is just amazing. When it comes down to Vic Beasley, it's all about getting the secondary move. So if he can go in the offseason and work with a guy like Chuck Smith, man, establish a second move, a second pass rush move beside that speed rush, Vic Beasley can be an awesome pass rusher. But I don't think, the Falcons, they definitely have talent on the defensive side of the ball, a defensive line. It's all about guys that can come in and spell Vic, Tack, and Grady Jarrett. Compliment them well, man. That's what it's all about, man. Jeremy Cole, the Falcons need to draft a defensive tackle, defensive end, guard tackle, defensive end, line, a halfback, a middle linebacker, and a wide receiver. I think the Falcons, for the most part, need a defensive tackle. They need a guard for sure, defensive end. I don't know about a running back. Maybe. Depends on if they re-sign Tevin Coleman. Maybe you draft a running back, but middle linebacker. I'm not really worried about middle linebacker. I think 4-year Olakun, Duke Riley, they're not Deion Jones, but they are okay. Being that Dan Quinn will take over defensive side of the ball, I'm not really concerned about middle linebacking position. Wide receiver is probably something that they need to focus on. You have Justin Hardy, Marvin Hall, those guys. I'm not sure those guys will be back. Russell Gage is the guy that will be with the Atlanta Falcons next year. He going to his second year, so you bring in a wide receiver, Dirk Cutter. A receiver that Dirk Cutter is comfortable with. So, High Life Nation was good. John Trammell, Desmond Dorson. But High Life Nation, we need some defensive end that can rush the passer. Need physical corners. Yeah, we've had a lot of drop interceptions this year, man. Anytime you have your cornerbacks combine for 0 interceptions, yeah, that's tough, man. And like I said, this has been a tough year for the Falcons defensively. But man, you really need players that can make plays, and maybe you can try DeMonte Cage and Ricardo Allen at that cornerback position to make more plays. But the Falcons desperately need more playmakers on the defensive side of the ball. That's without a doubt. The offensive line, they definitely need to protect Matt Ryan. That's first, and they really need to upgrade that running game. They need to, improve on that running game. I'm worried. I'm not worried about the passing game, but the running game is something that can help pass protection, if you call it right. With the addition, Falcons fans 408, the Falcons need to beef up the offensive line. When you look at the offensive line, for the most part, man, I think you have to say with Mike Mularkey, who plays a more physical style, see a change. You may see a change in philosophy as far as, you know, drafting guards that are athletic but with a little bit more size. More of an inside zone running scheme. That's why I think the Falcons are headed towards a more of an inside zone running scheme. There still will be a lot of outside zone running scheme, but I think the Falcons are transitioning more of a power run inside zone running scheme. So you can definitely see. I expect to see the Atlanta Falcons draft or sign more physical guards. Get a boots. What's good, man? I mean, Beasley has been in the league too long to have just a speed rush. Man, look, man, Vic Beasley is not as bad as people think he is. Okay, I'm not going to get on and pound this guy, man. Vic Beasley is still a serviceable defensive end. Maybe he's not a star. All right, maybe he's not a star, but maybe he is just who he is. Okay, maybe he's just a complimentary piece. There's nothing wrong with that. All right, there's nothing wrong with that. He's not Khalil Mack. He's not Von Miller. Okay, maybe he's not that. All right, and that's fine with me. But the only issue with Vic Beasley at this point is all about money. The Falcons still believe in Vic Beasley. I still believe in Vic Beasley. But maybe he's just not who we think he is. All right? The expectations for a guy that was drafted, seventh or eighth in the draft, we expect these guys to be instant stars. All right? We expect these guys to be special when they drafted that high. And I totally understand that. Especially when the guy lead the league in sacks. I understand what you got. I understand the frustration. I'm frustrated at times. But maybe Vic Beasley is just not who we thought he was. And that's fine. Maybe he can just be a complimentary piece. Maybe he can just be a specialty player. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with Vic Beasley just being a pass rush specialist. That's fine. All right? It's all about drafting. It's all about bringing guys who can come in and spare Vic Beasley his time at, stopping the run. Maybe we can just use Vic Beasley in pass rush situations where he can just do what he does best, and that's get after the quarterback. We place so much high expectations on a guy that maybe just isn't that. Maybe he just isn't Von Miller. All right? Maybe he just isn't, Khalil Mack. And I'm fine with that. I don't know about you guys, but I'm fine with that. I'm fine with Vic Beasley being a specialty player. But a specialty player is going to take a pay cut. Will Vic Beasley take a pay cut? I don't know. We will see. But there's nothing wrong with Vic Beasley being a specialty player. How do I feel about Michael Thomas over Julio Jones? Man, do I have to say that, man? Do I really have to say that again? Do I really have to say Michael Thomas? Anybody that prefers Michael Thomas over Julio Jones in anything is a fucking idiot and cannot be trusted. Alright? Cannot be trusted. If you think Michael Thomas deserves to be on the first team over Julio Jones, you are a fucking idiot. Julio Jones commands triple team, all right, double teams, almost every play. He dictates what defenses are doing to him. When Julio Jones on the field, everything changes. All eyes are on Julio. We have to stop Julio first. All right, this is what Julio Jones bring. Michael Thomas, come on, bro. You all right? You okay? You okay? But you know Julio Jones. And like I said before, a lot of people just love to hate on the Falcons, man. It doesn't matter how many championships we win. Doesn't how many records you break. The media is just going to hate the Falcons, man. All right, and it's just simple, and I'm fine with that. All right, Michael Thomas is one of the most overrated receivers in the game. That guy's just a big. He's not really even that fast. He's just a big target who plays in a pretty good system. That's all. That's all he is. He's never going to be anything without. He's never going to be an elite wide receiver. Anything without. Like I said, I think Drew Brees is what makes Mike Thomas Mike Thomas. All right, he's not really that great. You're talking about Julio Jones and DeAndre Hopkins. Odell Beckham, Antonio Brown, those guys are special. AJ Green, those guys are special. But Michael Thomas, come on, bro. Get the fuck out of my face with that. First team, man, get the fuck out of here. Like, that's all politics, man. NFL is all about politics. Anybody named right mind will never put Julio Jones in his second team. And would definitely will not put Michael Thomas over some damn Julio Jones. Like, who the hell? Like, seriously, man. That's all. It's all about hate, bro. Daniel Waddell. Vic Beasley had his best year when Dan Quinn called his defense. That's why I'm excited, man. Like I said before, um, when you look at Dan Quinn calling his defense, man, he knows his players better than anybody. He knows how to utilize these players better than anyone. And when Dan Quinn was calling the plays in 2016, all right, when he took over the play calling, Vic Beasley led the league in sacks. All right, he led the league in sacks. So when you put Dan Quinn as the play caller, I expect all these guys to be utilized the correct way, and that's what it's all about. Marco Emmanuel couldn't do it, all right, and that's fine. But now Dan Quinn is doing it, and you would definitely see if Vic Beasley is back, you would definitely see him. I think you'll see a better. I'm thinking. I seriously think that Vic Beasley would have a double-digit sack season this year in 2019. All right, I promise you guys that. If Vic Beasley is back and Dan Quinn is running the defense, be ready for a big Vic Beasley, a repeat of 2016 season. It's a good. I mean, Vic Beasley. If he doesn't take a pay cut, Bruce Irvin will most likely step up and be a cheaper alternative to Vic Beasley. So that's a good. That's something that you can definitely keep an eye on. Cut, True Fun, and Offered. Well, High Life Nation, again, I don't know what you guys, like I said, I've stated multiple times that you guys have to pay attention to the salary cap. I know it may seem like something that we can just do. We can pull the shit out of our ass and decide we can just release everyone just because they're not playing up to our standards. It doesn't work that way in the NFL. You have to be mindful of the cap, the salary cap, and if you decide to cut Desmond Trufant, right now, you're going to take a huge dead cap hit. And the Falcons are not going to do that. So you expect to see Desmond Trufant for the next 2 years. Robert Alford most definitely is gone, all right? He's definitely gone. The Revolution Channel, what's good, man? Appreciate everybody for tuning this live, man. I really appreciate it, bro. Nothing better for me than sitting up here talking about Falcons football with all you guys, man. I really love this shit, man. I love this shit. I really hate this off season now. Even though I'm excited to see what happened, I really, 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 really love. I really hate the fact that there's no football and we're not in the damn playoffs. I hate that shit. Okay, can't stand that shit. Come on, man. Like, anybody in their right mind would definitely not say that Michael Thomas is anywhere near better than Julio Jones. Not Julio Jones, but yeah, Julio Jones. What the hell am I thinking about? Michael Covington, what's good, man? If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it, man. Everybody in this live, man, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. At least try to give your boy 10 likes, man. Right now I have 6. Just help your boy out, man. Just help your boy out. Get a boost. You think Vic Beasley need to be in the 3-14? Well, when you look at the Falcons scheme, it's similar to the 4-3 under is similar to the 34 scheme. The thing is with the 4-3 scheme with the Atlanta Falcons that you need a guy like Keanu Neal a strong safety, and you need a guy alongside with Grady Jarrett and defensive tackle who are pretty much spectacular at getting doing two things: penetration and stopping the run. All right, and the Falcons don't have a guy that can stop the run alongside Grady Jarrett. So in essence, having Keanu Neal not spot to be there when offensive linemen and when tight ends are doubling down on a guy like Vic Beasley. Guess what? These guys are going to manhandle Vic Beasley when Keanu Neal is not there. They're going to manhandle Vic Beasley when you don't have a defensive tackle alongside Grady Jarrett who can, command double team. So I understand that people are really, really down on Vic Beasley, but the Falcons' problem is so much more than just Vic Beasley. You don't have Keanu Neal there. Keanu Neal is a vital part of the Falcons' base formation. All right, this guy is always in the top. All right, the top when it comes to tackling. All right, he is essentially another linebacker for the Atlanta Falcons. So if you don't have Keanu Neal alongside Vic Beasley and you don't have a defensive tackle alongside Vic Beasley, guess what? Vic Beasley is not as effective. He's not as effective. So this defense is when you look at Vic Beasley, man, a lot of his problem is because the Falcons don't have the right pieces around Vic Beasley. All right, he's a specialty player. He's a pass rusher. That is what he is. And when you ask for Vic Beasley to stop the run at his size, you're going to have some problems. All right, people? When you're looking at Vic Beasley's struggles, is a direct personification of what this defense is lacking. He is inconsistent. The Falcons defense is inconsistent because they don't have guys that are capable of doing what they do. Terrell McClain was absolutely garbage. All right? He was trash this year. Brooke Reeves is another guy who hasn't lived up to his expectations. Derek Shelby is another guy, all right, that didn't live up. So when you don't have those guys who were brought in for a specific reason, Vic Beasley is not as effective. Vic Beasley can't do what he does best. He can't sit back and be a pass rusher if he's in the base formation trying to stop the run because Derek Shelby, Jack Crawford, Terrell McClain, these guys are not doing their damn job. Vic Beasley is not a run stuffer. He never was, and he's never going to be that. So we have to bring in guys to do what they do best, and that's stop the run. We can't just look at it and say Vic Beasley, he's not playing up the part. This defense has so many holes without Keanu Neal, all right? So many holes without a defensive tackle alongside Grady Jarrett. All right? This defense has a lot of problems. They need everyone else to do their job in order for Tat McKinley, Vic Beasley to do what they do best, and that's rush the passer. All right? How the hell can you rush the passer if you're always in 2nd and 5? All right? These guys are hitting home runs, all right? Going 90 yards. Okay? We saw what Nick Chubb and the Cleveland Browns did to us. How the hell can Vic Beasley be effective if the motherfuckers they're rushing for 200 yards on them? Vic Beasley is ineffective. Okay, people? So we can't just say everything Vic Beasley is this, Vic Beasley is that. All right? The only reason why I'm saying that Vic Beasley may not be with the Atlanta Falcons is because one of his inconsistencies, and more than anything, it's just the pay. We can't afford to keep everyone. And unfortunately, the way Grady Jarrett is playing, Vic Beasley may be the odd man out. And that's just a fact. All right? That's just a fact. But this defense is not struggling because Vic Beasley is struggling. This Falcons team is flawed. And they need to get a defensive tackle, defensive end, who can play in base formation, who can stop the run, so Vic Beasley can get to the quarterback, so Grady Jarrett can get to the quarterback, so Takk McKinley can get to the quarterback. This is what the defense is about. You can't quarterback if you don't have opportunity to get to the damn quarterback. Okay, people? All right? It really is that simple. I get really heated when people just look at the defense and just say Vic Beasley is the reason why we're struggling. It's so much more than just that, man. It really is so much more than just that. Jordan J, what's good, man? I hope you subscribe to the channel, man. I really appreciate you. New England Patriots control their own salary cap at best. Well, one thing about New England Patriots, they can afford to control their own cap. And what I mean by that, these guys have won several championships. And once you won several championships, you can afford to say, you know what, I'm not paying you this. Why do I need to pay you this? You should be happy that you want to be, no, we're asking you to become a member of the New England Patriots. Because they're always consistent. They're always winning. They're always in the thick of things in the playoffs. So these guys can sit back and say, you know what, I'm not going to pay you, $40, $30 million a year. They can afford to do that. We can't afford to do that. We have to pay players to come in to win. Until we get that reputation, we can't be the New England Patriots. Excuse me. Getter Boots, I know you've been, yeah, man. Boots, man, you've definitely been one of my, you've been my day ones, man. I really appreciate you. I really do, man. High Life Nation, you're absolutely right about that. Dan Quinn, he can help Takk and Vic Beasley get back to those elite pass rushing standard, man. He is a defensive lineman coach by trade, so I'm not worried about the defensive line. I think he pretty much have that locked, man. Man, Jordan J, man, you from New England, and I never liked the Patriots. Man, look, I just have a hard time giving these guys credit when every time you turn around, these guys are cheating, man. And they play in one of the most shittiest fucking divisions in the NFL. All right, the Buffalo Bills, the New York Jets, and Miami Dolphins are fucking trash. Okay, absolute garbage. This is why these guys. That's 6 easy wins right off the bat because of those trash ass teams. This is the reason why New England always has home field advantage. All right, that trash ass division they play in. The cheating. All right, the constant cheating. Every time you turn around and something. All right, but it is what it is, man. New England's won championships. All right, blah blah blah. Fuck New England. All right, that's all I'm gonna say about those bastards. I bet you if Beasley had the mind of Takk McKinley, he would be a beast. Beasley's just one of those guys just needs to be motivated. He doesn't you have to really piss Vic Beasley. When Vic Beasley is pissed off, this guy's a damn animal. Alright, but he has one of those all shucks, those laid back personalities. And in the NFL, you don't want to have too many guys that's like Takk McKinley, who's he pretty much states and says whatever he feels. You can't have too many guys, so you need a balance. And Vic Beasley and Takk McKinley, those guys are excellent complement to each other, man. You don't want to get too riled up, have too many guys like Takk McKinley on the team. You definitely have to have those mild like Vic Beasley, who's not going to get too up and too down. So I think they're an excellent complement to each other, man. Dan Quinn put together a defense where they have guys that are mild-mannered, guys that'll knock your fucking head off, and guys that are just, just he has an excellent balance with that defense. I really love what he's done with that defense, man. Revolution Channel. All right. Yeah, I think the Falcons would most likely draft the defensive tackle. I haven't completed my draft yet, but if you know me, man, I'm really big on the Falcons drafting Christian Wilkins, man, out of Clemson. Ed Oliver, Derrick Brown. Derrick Brown is another guy that you have to keep in mind. Jordan Richards was garbage replacing Neil. Jordan Richards he was originally brought in here to play special teams, but unfortunately injuries happened, and Jordan Richards was forced to come in and be and play a lot of free safety, strong safety, excuse me. But when you look at another guy that I think who is played terrific, he will definitely be back, is Sherrod Neesman. Sherrod Neesman is another guy I expect to be back. I thought he played excellent. He still needs help in zone coverage, but this guy in man coverage, Sherrod Neesman, he tackles well. He plays well in man. Needs to improve he definitely needs to improve in zone coverage, but Neesman is a guy that I like. Jordan Richards may be back as special teams help, but you can damn sure believe that Neesman will be back with the Falcons. Daniel Woodell, Tyron Taylor, Delray Bellamy, appreciate you guys, man. Again, if you guys are in this chat and you haven't hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, help your boy out, man. All right, really appreciate you guys for joining in, man. You can't mimic Belichick, man. Belichick he is what it is, but I think the league is past him by, man. It's just something about the New England Patriots right now that they're not the same team. They don't scare anyone anymore. It's just something about these guys that just seem different for me. I just don't like what I see from them. I really don't like what I see from the Patriots, man. You're seeing, for me, I think what you're seeing now for the Patriots is the end of a dynasty. All right, and I say that because yet again, your boy, what's his name? Josh McDaniels turned down yet another coaching job, a couple of coaching jobs, and this seems just at some point in time you're going to be looking at the end of Bill Belichick and that Tom Brady era, and I really think this coming like what I see from the Patriots right now. These guys are injured and not playing well. Tom Brady looks human, but we will see. All right, they're playing the Chargers, and I really pray, and I hope to God that Phillip Rivers finally get his win, man. All right, we need Phillip Rivers to get his win. Get a win in the playoffs, okay? We need him to get a win in the playoffs. I really just like Phillip Rivers, man. That's my dude. Preston Gilmore, appreciate it, man. Appreciate you for joining in. We're going to get rid of Vic Beasley, then why wouldn't we just trade him in the middle of the season? Well, the Falcons did try to, I won't say they tried to trade him, but the Falcons did get a lot of trade requests from Vic Beasley. So, will they? I'm not sure. Trade him in the offseason, trade him during the draft. That's a huge possibility. Look, man, I think you can at least, if the Falcons decide to move on for Vic Beasley, get a younger guy. Get a younger guy to in the draft to replace Vic Beasley. Whether it's, I don't think they'll get a first round. They'll most definitely get, second and a third, a second and a fourth, second, fourth, and a couple of picks in the seventh round. But I think Vic Beasley most definitely has trade value. So do not be surprised to see Vic Beasley named uttered in rumors as far as the trade rumors. John Jones should represent. John Jones should represent the Pats. Man, leave John Jones alone, man. That's my dude. All right, y'all gonna leave John Jones alone, man. Matty Ghost, what's good, pimpin'? All right. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, man, go ahead and support your boy. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, man. Definitely appreciate everybody for being in, man. I'm gonna continue to try to go on as long as I can go on, man. Arthur Blank is ass. All right, really. Arthur Blank is ass. That's why he married an American woman. That's a dumbass. What a dumbass. Ah, yeah, that's a pretty nice comment. Arthur Blank is an ass. All right, man. All right, you're entitled to your opinion. That's the first time I heard anyone that said Arthur Blank is an ass, but it is what it is. This man said Arthur Blank is an ass. That's the first time. That's the first one for me, man. Hey, but everybody like to do what they do. Everybody think what they think. All right. Oh man. Yeah, I think everybody in the NFL is looking for Matty Ghost. I think everybody in the world is looking for a Khalil Mack. But unfortunately, guys like that don't come too easily. So you got to go back to the draft. Maybe Vic Beasley isn't that. Maybe he can, maybe he not. All right, but it is what it is, man. Preston Gilmore, do you think there's a chance we go for cornerback in the first round? Most likely, the way things are constructed, don't think the Falcons will go after a cornerback in the first round unless they make a trade. They trade a Vic Beasley and then they get a first round pick, and then you can possibly, draft with the 14th pick and use that first rounder to get a cornerback. But I don't think with the 14th pick the Falcons will draft a. They will draft a cornerback. I don't think that's something that they will do. Duke Riley can go. Yep, Duke Riley can damn sure go. Duke Riley can damn sure go. Shit. But Jordan J, man, like I said before, man, before I end this, man, I appreciate everybody for joining in, man. You guys, like I said, all these questions, man, I'm going to try to do this at least, every single day, do lives. But like I said before, man, I appreciate everybody for continuing to support your boy, man. Going to continue to put, oh, shit, moving. Damn, this Matty Ghost in here, this dude in here laying out his whole damn life. Dumb move. I really deal with women in Southeast. No child support, no alimony, no divorce in Southeast Asia. Man, look, man. I try to keep it all sports. But Arthur Blank, alright, this guy's worth billions of dollars. There's no way in hell this guy's, alright, marrying anyone without a prenuptial agreement. Alright? He'll be a goddamn fool if he doesn't. Alright? So believe me. Alright? Not Dan Quinn, but Arthur Blank is without a doubt, he's without a doubt, has a prenuptial agreement, man. It is what it is, man. I appreciate you, man, Ghost, man. You come in, you talk crazy as hell, but I like you, man. I really like you, man. You cool as hell, man. Anya's Way, appreciate it. Appreciate the comment. We need a nasty, girthy offensive guard and a young offensive tackle we can groom and a power back from the draft. I think, yeah, I really agree with that, man. I think they're leaning more towards a power zone running scheme, more physical offensive guards who can protect. I don't think they can afford to use the draft these smaller offensive guards. These guys, the guards that they will draft, these guys will be a little bigger, but they'll also be athletic enough to, use the outside zone running scheme as well as the inside zone running scheme. So you got that right, man. Yeah, you definitely got that right. I totally agree with you there. They really need to revamp the offensive guard, and they need to perhaps groom Ron Schrader's new uh, uh, his replacement. C. Glenn, what's good, my man? Matt Ryan better put in some work. Man, when is Matt Ryan not putting in work? Come on, man. Come on. Come on, man. Matt Ryan always put in work. What more does this guy have to do? Pass for 6,000 yards in the damn season? 70 touchdowns? No interceptions? Like, why are we still looking at Matt Ryan like he needs to improve? He's won an MVP. He's led us to a Super Bowl. What more does this guy have to do besides complete the championship? Come on, man. We're not gonna get on Matt Ryan. We're not gonna do that. But yes, the power zone, that was most definitely be it. The RPO is something that the Falcons are always done. Even as far as when Dirk Cutter's first tenure as the Falcons offensive play caller. But yes, they always use a version of the run pass option. Anya's way. What's my email? I might as well give it to you. I will. Well, let me do it now. Shit. My email, Anya's way, and I can't believe I'm doing this live. Okay, I can't believe I'm doing this live. But my email is mlinson, MLINSON, the number 8 at gmail.com. Okay, hit me up and we can definitely collab. All right. Jeremy Wright, will Mike Mularkey help out with the running game? Okay. Mike Mularkey will definitely help out with the. Mike Mularkey would definitely help out with the running game. That's one of the reasons why. That's one of the reasons why he was brought here to be to kind of give the Falcons that balance. He runs more of a power running style. So what I expect to see from Mike Mularkey and the Falcons offense is a lot of inside zone running scheme. I don't think we'll use a ton of outside running zone scheme. For the simple fact, I don't think the Falcons will bring back a Tevin Coleman. They're still up in the air for me, but the signing of Mike Mularkey signifies to me two things. They were going to use a lot of play action to help out with the defense, and a lot of play action to help out with the run, as well as the power running scheme. When Mike Mularkey was here with Matt Ryan, the offensive coordinator for Matt Ryan, they used a lot of power running scheme with Mike Turner. So expect a lot of inside zone running schemes with Mike Mularkey and the Atlanta Falcons going forward. So we definitely will see a more physical style of play. And Dougie Fresh, I do have a Discord link. I will leave it in the comment section as soon as this video is done, so you guys can come in and chat with me. Like I said before, I do have a Discord, man. A lot of you guys who are in this live, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, help your boy out. All right, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, man. Really trying to make this channel a positive place for Atlanta Falcons fans to do what they do, man. And let's talk positively and look at everything in its entirety from a positive aspect, because we have enough negative shit going on with guys from ESPN, NFL Network. These guys don't give us any type of respect. They don't respect us. They're not going to respect us. So we got to do it for ourselves, man. So that's what Mad Mike Sports is about. That's what Unintentional Ground is all about. A positive place for Atlanta Falcons fans, man. Ivor Shepherd, so hopefully Fusco will be healthy next year. He was one of those guys who plays better in the inside zone running scheme. So I don't know what if he is the long term deal. I mean, he is a veteran. He definitely is a veteran. He fits well in that inside zone running scheme. He can he played well with the outside zone running scheme. So we know he has flexibility. Try to get back on that All Pro level. I think the Falcons would most definitely, without a doubt, sign a guard. I don't think Ryan Schrader, but Wes Schweitzer is the long term. Um, I don't think he's the long term answer to at left guard. The Falcons will most definitely sign a guard, um, draft a guard, and sign a guard, but it's more for depth purposes. I don't think Ben Garland will be back. I like Ben Garland, but I don't think he'll be back. So I expect to be Wes Schweitzer, and for sure, Brandon Fusco will be back. And the Vitre, he is a free agent. Too many injuries. I don't think he'll be back. But like I said before, man, the Falcons will most likely draft either a guard in the third or fourth round, possibly in the later rounds, a guard and a tackle. You still have to look at from Gunno. Matt Gunno is a prospect on the Falcons practice squad that they have high hopes on. So we're going to see what he can provide, in the offseason if he improves. The Don. What's good, Pittman? Do you think Jonah Williams would be our first pick? No chance in hell. All right, there's no chance in hell that Jonah Williams would be the first pick in our draft. All right, if that happens, I'm going to riot. All right, Matt Ryan's going to riot. Dan Quinn is going to riot. Everybody who's an Atlanta Falcons fan is going to damn right if Jonah Williams is the first pick for the Falcons. There's no chance in hell that Jonah Williams, with these problems that we have on defense, there's no chance in hell that Jonah Williams be the first pick. And I've seen several mock drafts that said that we should take Jonah Williams, but that's absolutely absurd. There's no way the Falcons should ignore the defensive side of the ball, especially with Dan Quinn going back side of the ball. There's no way in hell that Jonah Williams is going to be the first pick. And if he is, man, we really need to question the direction of this team if we decide to take Jonah Williams, man. I don't think that'll happen. There's no way in hell that happens. What do I think of Quentin Spain? Tennessee Titans. Don't really know much about him. I have to look at some film on him, and I'll probably do a video on guys that we should look at. But Quentin Spain, I don't know, man. Just have to do more. Really have to do more research on Quentin Spain. Falcons should try to sign DeAnthony Thomas return game. The Falcons desperately needs playmakers. If they don't sign the DeAnthony Thomas to return, I would suggest drafting Miko Hardman from Georgia. That guy has electric speed that you just can't teach. All right, and he will add another playmaker, another speedster on the offensive side of the ball. So Miko Hardman is a guy that I definitely have my eyes on as far as a returner and a speed guy in the draft. Derek Brown, again, Derek Brown is another guy that I have on my radar to be drafted by the Falcons, maybe in the second round. maybe later on in the second round. But yeah, he's definitely a guy that I like, man. But the defense definitely needs more to be aggressive, to get more turnovers. Chuck Ford was good, man. Glad to have you. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, hit that subscribe button. But man, like I said before, man, I don't think Jeffrey Simmons will be back. I don't think Jeffrey Simmons, uh, his play, his ability, his athleticism, it fits what the Atlanta Falcons want to do. But one thing about Arthur Blank, he does not like to have a ton of guys, anyone that have off the field issues, and that domestic violence issue with Jeffrey Simmons is something that may cause him to drop in the draft. I'm not sure the Falcons want to go that route, man. I mean, you hit a woman, be it if for good reason, but I just don't think that that's something that the Falcons want to go down there. I don't think Jeffrey Simmons will be in Atlanta Falcons. Christian Wilkins is a guy that I say that is a perfect fit for the Falcons, what Dan Quinn wants to do. But all in all, man, I appreciate everybody for tuning in to this live. You guys haven't hit that subscribe button, man. I appreciate every one of you guys. Like I said, man, I truly, truly do. You help Mad Mike Sports, grow at the rate that he's growing. I'm almost at 20, or not 20, but 1,200 subscribers, man. You guys continue to give me those questions, and I will continue to make the videos and the content. But your boy Mad Mike is out, man. I appreciate you guys for joining, and I'm gone, baby.